Hello everyone, so I will be doing a book haul. I got quite a few books, but I didn't buy them all at once. It's accumulation from like 3 to 4 months. Lots of these were birthday presents at the end of June, so it's been a while. So let's get started. The first book is Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race by Elliott Rage. So this is a nonfiction book about the author's frustration about the way that race and racism was discussed in Britain by people who were not affected by it. So I think as an ally, it is important to know that racism is a white person's problem and we need to fix it. We need to educate ourselves and listen to Black people when they have issues with everything that's going on in the world or issues with a person personally, because racism is such a vast thing. I know lots of people think that it's like, oh, I don't hate Black people, I don't say the N-word, I don't like hurt them, I'm not racist, but it's so much more than that. There's so many like microaggressions. And sadly, I'm sure that I do it or have done it in the past because I'm still learning. And a great way to do it is read books like this. Next book is When They Call You a Terrorist, a Black Lives Matter memoir by Patrice Coolers and Asha Bandili. I'm so sorry. I don't want to butcher them. I'm so sorry. So this is a memoir about being a Black woman in America and being the co-founder of the Black Lives Matter movement. As someone who marched in a Black Lives Matter protest, I want to learn more about the movement and how it was started and the people who started it. I know from just reading people's comments online and stuff that many people do not understand it and they bash it. They say it's like greed, people are making money off of it, or that it's a terrorist group. And I want to be able to like recommend this book and be like, hey, that's not what it was, this is what it was about, just to educate more people. And I've read reviews and they definitely say it's a great book and it is a powerful read. So I'm excited to read this book. Next one is Elliott Rage, a Black Feminist Discovers Her Superpower by Brittany Cooper. This is a nonfiction book about how Black women's rage has been a caricature into an ugly, destructive force, and the author discusses that it is way more than that. And I agree that like in movies and stuff, like when a Black woman is upset, it is made like a joke or something that like, oh, you should be afraid of. But this book tells you, it's like, no, like it gives Serena Williams the will to be such a powerful tennis player, or how Michelle Obama is such an icon, that as a Black woman living in America, of course you have rage. But it is more than just something to make fun of. It drives these people to be something greater and show people that, hey, you want to make fun of me, fine, but I'm better than that. And I think that's great, and I'm excited to read it. Next book is Allegedly by Tiffany Jackson. This is a young adult mystery book about how a 9-year-old white baby was killed under the watch of a Black church-going woman and her 9-year-old daughter. I recently read a book by this author, Monday's Not Coming, and I really liked it. It was a really good mystery book, but also had like a powerful message, and I think this will be the exact same. And mystery books are one of my favorite genres, and so I really want to get into reading more authors of color instead of like white men or white women. The next book is The Institute by Stephen King. This is a horror book about how in the middle of the night intruders break in and kill Luke Ellis's parents and kidnap him. And Luke wakes up in this institution where there are other kids with special powers, like telekinesis, telepathy, and Luke wants to get out because he has heard that terrible things happen in this institute, but no one has made it out. The next book is The Couple Next Door by Sherry Lapina. This is a mystery book about how a couple goes next door to a party and leave their baby unattended next door, and they have the baby monitored, but the baby gets kidnapped. I already read this. I did a review in my July wrap-up, but to sum it up, I did really enjoy it. The next book is A Stranger in the House by Sherry Lapina, the same author as The Couple Next Door. This is a mystery book about Karen and Tom, who are basically newlyweds, and one day Tom comes home and finds that Karen is missing. And she has left her purse, which has her wallet and her phone. And soon the police come and tell him that she has been in a car accident. But she has no idea who she is, where she was going, and this leads the cops to not trust her. The next book I got is An Unwanted Guest by Sherry Lapina. This is another mystery thriller novel. This is about the Mitchell's Inn, which is a perfect place for a getaway. But a blizzard arrives and cuts off the electricity. The guests there try to make the best of it, but soon a guest ends up dead. And at first it looks like an accident, but then another guest ends up dead. And so now they're afraid that someone is picking off the guests one by one. Next book is Control by Lydia Kang. This is set in a dystopian future in America where it has been divided into mega states with harsh dress codes and moral standards, and laws against extreme genetic mutations. And any child that was born with any genetic mutation is dealt with. But some underground groups try to get the kids before the government gets a chance to get a hold of them. I have never heard of this book or this author, but I do like dystopian novels, and I looked on Goodreads and it has some good reviews, so hopefully I'll like it, and then I can read the next book in the series, because it is a series. The next book is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I don't know much about this novel, but I'm hearing great things about it. For a while people were raving about it, and I've always wanted to pick it up, but I just never did. And so I saw this at a bookstore and I was like, I should just finally get it and read it. Next book is Baby Teeth by Soji Stage. I'm probably butchering that, I'm sorry. This book is about Hannah, who loves her dad. He is the only one that understands her, and she will do anything to get her happily ever after with him. But her mom stands in her way, so she will try any trick to get rid of her. I've heard mixed reviews about this, but it does sound really creepy, and I think I'll probably be very uncomfortable reading this, which sometimes I like, because I like getting having such a strong reaction, because I think those are sometimes the best books, and it was on sale for $6, so I had to get it. Next book is Mystic River by Dennis Lehane. So this is a mystery book. This is about 3 childhood friends, and one day one of the friends gets kidnapped by 2 men, and he turns up days later emotionally shattered. And over time the friends kind of just drift apart, but they are brought together 25 years later due to the death of one of the friends' daughter. I am interested to read this, however I did see the movie, so it sounds like it's going to be a lot like the movie, but I really enjoyed the movie, and I know books are a lot better usually than the movie, and I haven't seen the movie in a while. I still kind of think I remember everything, like main points, but I'm not sure. So I am excited to read this book. The next book I got was The 9 Lives of Chloe King by Liz Braswell. This has the 3 books. I think that's all that's in the series, but I'm not sure. The Fallen, the Stolen, and the Chosen. And this is like a young adult book about Chloe, who's just a normal girl. She goes to school, she fights with her mom, she has friends, but on her 16th birthday, she realized that she is not a normal girl. She has heightened night vision, super fast reflexes, and claws. I think there was a show way back, and I think I watched the couple of episodes, and I think I liked the concept. Is canceled early, so I didn't get like a chance to get into it, but it seems interesting. It's 3 books in one. It was really cheap. I got it for $3. So next book is Deviant, the shocking true story of Ed Gein, the original psycho, by Harold. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. I'll put it up on the screen because I cannot pronounce that. So this is a true crime novel about Ed Gein. His crime inspired the movies The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Psycho, and Silence of the Lambs. This was a book for my true crime book club. I haven't gotten around to read it, even though that was like, I think, July's book. And I'm interested in Ed Gein. I just am at a reading slump. Is Killers of the Flower Moon, The Osage Murders, and the Birth of the FBI by David Gran. So this is a true crime novel. This is about in the 1920s, the Osage Indian nation in Oklahoma became one of the richest people once oil was discovered beneath their land. But then one by one, they began to be killed off. Again, this was a book for my book club. Haven't read it yet, but I think this is September, so I still have time. The next book is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. I really want to get more into Brandon Sanderson. I really want to get into Mistborn because that's more of an adult sci-fi fantasy novel. But for now, I think I'll start with his young adult, get into his writing style, and I've heard great things about this, and so far, all the books I've read by Brandon Sanderson I really liked, so I'm expecting to like this. So this is about Spenza, a teenage girl living on a planet that humans are almost extinct because they are constantly being attacked by some alien creature, and her dream is to become a pilot to help destroy them and fight against them, and her dream might come to life because she finds an ancient wreckage and she's trying to get it to run. The next book is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is a historical fiction book about Hollywood icon Evelyn Hugo, who decides to tell her story to an unknown magazine reporter. So she describes her going to LA in the 50s, her leaving showbiz in the 80s, and of course, her 7 husbands. I am so excited to read this because she's the author of, oh my god, what's it called? Like Daisy and the Six, something like that. I can't remember. And I really enjoyed that book. And I hear people like this book better, so I can't wait to read it. The next book is The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. This is another mystery thriller novel. Like I said, I really like mystery thriller novels. About a group of friends that go to a hunting lodge, but one of them ends up dead, so you kind of have to figure out who among the friends is a killer. Which I always find that kind of interesting because it's a group of friends, and so they all trust each other, and so you have to find out like who among them is not trustworthy, who's a killer, things like that. The next book is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. This is the winner of the Hugo Award in 2016. This is a science fiction book. I'm not really sure what is it about. Like, all like the summaries are very different because it says like it's a mystery book, and so they have like a mystery, but then it's like something different. So I'm just going to read the back of the book to tell you what it's about. So it says, it starts with a great red rift across the heart of the world, sole continent, spewing ash that blots out the sun. It starts with death, with a murdered son and a missing daughter. It starts with betrayal and a long dormant wound rising up to fester. This is the stillness, where the power of the earth is wielded as a weapon, and where there is no mercy. So all I know is that it follows interwoven storylines of 3 women. And it sounds really good because I like I said, I really want to get into more like fantasy science fiction books, and I heard this was really good. The next book is Hannibal by Thomas Harris. This is the 3rd book in the Hannibal Lecter series. The first one being Red Dragon, then Silence of the Lambs, then Hannibal, and I think the last one is Hannibal Rising. I haven't read any of the books so far, but I have seen both Red Dragon and Silence of the Lambs, and I really like them, but I just kind of wanted more. So I really hoping the books go into more about Hannibal Lecter and everything and all that, because it is pretty interesting. Like Silence of the Lambs is an awesome movie, so I'm hoping the book is just as great. And so I'm hoping that I like it, since this is the 3rd book. So I'm already like collecting the series and I haven't even read them yet. The next book is The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. This is a horror novel. This is about Patricia Campbell, who joins a true crime book club in her suburban community. A new neighbor comes into the community and they have to save the community from the new neighbor, who turns out to be a vampire. So I really like Grady Hendrix books, and because I think I've read most of them. There's a couple I haven't read, but I'm really excited because I've heard great things about this one, because the other ones I gave like 3 stars, but I've heard that this is like a 4 to 5 star read. The last book I got was Misery by Stephen King. This is about Annie Wilkins, who kidnaps Paul Sheldon, her favorite author. I've seen the movie many, many years ago, and I really liked it, and I hear the book is again better than the movie, and I really like Stephen King. I'm getting really into him. I wasn't really a fan before because I was reading like his novellas or other books, but once I read The Shining and Pet Sematary and Dr. Sleep, I'm hooked onto him now, and I really want to read more of his books. So those are all the books that I got recently in the past 3 to 4 months. So like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Bye!